Welcome to the A2Schools podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Cluley. As always, our superintendent, Dr. Swift, is here as well. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Andrew. It's great to be here.
And we also have with us today the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Community Engagements, Nancy Shore. Thank you for being here as well, Nancy.
Thank you, Andrew. Happy to be here.
So today we were going to talk about some of the great work that Ms. Shore does, and is especially timely because I know one of the areas that she works on a lot with is with the scholarships that are available. And for at least at the minimum, the graduating seniors have some deadlines to apply for some scholarships. So we thought it'd be a good time to talk about that.
It's wonderful. You know, it's such a great time of year as we come back to start a brand new calendar year. And yet our seniors are thinking forward to their futures. And you're one of the people who helps them with that, yes?
Yeah, so we are very excited to announce many scholarships available for Ann Arbor Public Schools graduating seniors. We have some that are available for any student if they qualify and meet the eligibility criteria, and we also have some that are for specific schools. And what's exciting is that they are varied in terms of the type of student that may want to apply for them. And we do a lot of work to make sure that all of the schools are aware of the scholarships, the counselors know, and they can make sure to find that exact right student to encourage them to apply.
And what are some of the things that a senior needs to be doing right now as they look to apply for these scholarships?
Well, they can absolutely go on to the website, the a2schools.org/scholarship site, and on there is a listing of all of the available scholarships. They have a little bit of time because the scholarships that we have, most of them, their deadline is March 17th, but it would be good to go on now. What's really nice is we have most of them on a platform called Submittable where you can go on, you can create an account, and then you can peruse the scholarships, and you don't necessarily need to do everything right away, so it gives you a chance to look around. And I would also encourage them to look at the different essays that are available that they need to write about, so they can do that. And then also what's great is on that site as well as we do have a couple of the other scholarships that are available locally by others such as Kiwanis, so that they can also look at those and see if there's one that fits with them as well.
I love it. So they can go on and see about their interests and their profile. And I'm really thankful that you've redesigned so they don't have to completely start over for each application, right?
Right. They have one profile that they create, and then they just have to go in and put in the information that's specific to that scholarship. And it's actually just as nice for the student as it is for us because it's a one-stop shop and everything is secure and in one place, so that it also makes it easier for us to review and then be able to let people know when they win.
That's great. No running around town or delivering of papers. That can all be done right there. And in my day, we had to complete an application for each individual activity. And so this is really great to have one-stop shop.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they're available for a variety of future endeavors. It's not just if you're looking to go to a four-year university. There's a lot of different options, correct?
Correct. So we have a great scholarship that Chartwell's offers, and that's for anybody who's interested in the nutrition field. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be going to a four-year college or university. They may look at a different option. We have many students that end up going to community college, which is also absolutely something that these scholarships allow them to do. I think a lot of it is about what the student really feels like is going to help them get to that next level. And a lot of what these scholarships do is provide that to them. But as long as it's with an accredited organization, we're fine with wherever they decide to go and what they decide to do with themselves.
I always appreciate that our business partners, Durham and Chartwell's and ABM, offer scholarships. I think that's just a really nice piece, and we've appreciated their partnership all these years to do that. But in addition, you have individuals in the community who have offered scholarships as a part of the suite of scholarships that you have on your website. Yes.
Exactly. So in addition to our business partners, we do have scholarships that we do in collaboration with the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation. And that is something that our students can apply for. And then we do have a couple of individuals that have started scholarships that are named after somebody who it's in memory of. And again, we work with those donors as well as work with the counselors and others at the schools to give them away. But it is really nice that we have a variety of different scholarships that we can promote in the community.
It's wonderful. A big shout out to Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation. They're doing the good work over there, and our kids benefit. And thank you for managing the connection of all that.
Sure.
And just a reminder again, for most of these scholarships, the deadline to apply is March 17th. So you got just over a month or so.
Exactly. So start now. Get ready. Do your homework.
Well, it's great to hear about these scholarships that we have available for graduating seniors, but you also mentioned that there's some scholarships that are available for students in other grades for other activities and that type of thing. Can you talk a little bit about some of those that are going to be available? I don't know if they're all have the same deadline. I'm guessing that they might not, but what kind of things else do we have scholarships available for?
Yeah, I think what I'd like the community to know is that you may not realize that we do have other scholarships that we work in collaboration with schools to provide, and many of them are focused on the students that we have in our schools that may be in most financial need. So a couple of them that I'd like to mention, we have this great scholarship that is in collaboration with the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation called the Rick Burgess Music Scholarship. And this is actually for a student to purchase equipment so that they can further their career in jazz. And we have had some amazing students that have applied for that. And actually, when we gave it away last year, it was a student that got a drum set. And it was basically the only way that he could have the type of equipment he needed to be a successful student and professional in that career. So it was really exciting to see the impact that scholarship made. And then we also have a couple of camp scholarships that we give away in collaboration with different donors. So we have one for Scarlett Middle School that allows 2 students to go to a band camp over the summer. So they might not otherwise be able to have that experience. We're able to provide them with that scholarship. And then we have a couple others in collaboration with some departments here that also allow students to do band camps. They allow them to do music camps, sports camps. And so it's something that we're trying to do to continue to make sure that we have an equitable ability for other students who may not be able to have those experiences, that we can help make that possible for them.
That's so exciting.
And when is the deadline on those? As I said, they may be, obviously with some of them, they may be different times of the year.
Yeah, so oftentimes they are different. They're usually more in the April timeframe, and those are usually done in collaboration with the schools because the teachers and the administrators at those schools tend to know their students the best. So we often ask them for recommendations, people that they think would be really good candidates. And we also do that to reduce the burden in terms of having to complete an application and worry about all the time that might take. So we've had a really good run with doing that and had a partnership with the schools. And so if you are curious, if you qualify or you need to have one of these scholarships, we do list some of them on the a2schools.org/scholarship page. And then there's also a email, studentscholarships@a2schools.org. So that is always an email that anybody can ask a question about a district-wide scholarship or one that their student may qualify for.
So the class of 2023 has a lot to look forward to and some homework to do.
There you go. As always, I'm sure that they're not tired of that yet, or they haven't started. They're still working on those things.
I'm sure.
Well, while we have you here, Nancy, I know that there's another. It's not a scholarship, but it's another important resource that we have on the website, thanks to your hard work, and that's the community resources page, which is really a great place for families and everyone in the community to find a bunch of resources that are available. Could you talk a little bit about sort of what's on that page, where people can find it and that type of thing?
Sure. And I would first like to say that this really is a product of what happened during COVID, when we realized that even though our schools shut down, we did not stop serving our students. We were providing them with meals and basic needs. And so we recognized the important role that schools play in providing information and access to community resources. So if you go into the a2schools.org website, you go in the student and family section, there is a community resources page. page. And that page is laid out in lots of different areas, such as food, utilities, and we only list resources that we know are reputable. They're either a local resource or they're a resource that is from one of our strategic partners, and they're often either very low cost or free. And a couple that I'd just like to highlight right now, we just had a great meeting with a new program with the city of Ann Arbor called Supportive Connections. And this is available for any resident who's 18 plus, and that includes any parent who is a parent of an Ann Arbor Public Schools student, even if they don't necessarily live in the district, as long as their student is here. And that is, it's a systems navigation service. So if you know somebody or you yourself are having issues with substance abuse or mental health challenges or challenges with housing or employment, you can actually email or call the Supportive Connections program, and they'll be able to assist you and connect you to a service. So that's new. Time of year, tax season is coming up, and the United Way of the Washtenaw County actually offers a free tax preparation service. If you made $60,000 or less in income in 2022, you can get support with them for free, and that's also in our community resources page. And then one other is a great resource that we have in our schools called ROS clinics. And we have 3 ROS clinics, one at Pioneer, one at Scarlet, and one at Pathways. And they're actually available for any AAPS student or any child in our community to use. And if you go on our site, you'll find information about the services that they provide, both physical and mental health services. So lots of really good things. We're constantly updating it. So I encourage everybody to go to a2schools.org/community resources to find out more.
It's great to hear that we have these resources in the community, and that you've gone ahead and given people a one-stop shop to find many of them all together. I know that obviously when we're thinking about making sure that we educate the children of Ann Arbor, but oftentimes to make sure that can happen, we have to offer those resources to the parents and the entire community.
Absolutely.
I never fail to be so grateful and impressed with the significant ways in which our community members consistently care for each other, not just care by saying nice words, but care by taking action. And every time I've seen us make an appeal for a community organization or for one of our schools, folks just rally support. Mm-hmm. And it's really special to be a member of a community that cares in that way.
Absolutely.
It's good to hear about these resources that are available. It's good to hear about these scholarships. And of course, that brings us to the good news section of the A2Schools podcast. And we're going to celebrate some statewide recognition. The Michigan Council for Exceptional Children, their 2023 Dr. Dawn Gallup Honor Recipient Award is going to the Bryant Elementary Special Education team. And it's really amazing that the entire team is going to receive this award. It's designed to recognize an individual, group, business, agency, or community that has promoted and provided for the enhancement, awareness, or employment of individuals with exceptionalities in order to promote and support their full participation within the community. So it seems like a lot of people were eligible, and in the entire state, they picked this team at Bryant, which is really great to hear.
Andrew, I'm so proud of the Bryant team, and that award means so much. This team has worked incredibly hard, as our teams do, but they've accomplished something special right there in the Bryant neighborhood and serving students for whom their work is making all the difference. It's a game changer for our students, for our children, really at very young ages. So I'm so incredibly proud, and congratulations to the Bryant team on this very special award.
And I'm hoping I'm going to get their names right. So if I don't, I apologize in advance. But the team includes special education teacher Amy Satchwell, school psychologist Charlene Manji, speech language pathologist Katie Motard, occupational therapist Melissa Vella, physical therapist Kathy Gaines, and school social worker Kristen Barrio. So thank you very much to all of you for all of the great work that you do. And it just shows, it takes a great team working together and receiving this recognition. The award will formally be presented on March 2nd in Grand Rapids at the 2023 Michigan Council for Exceptional Children's Conference. So congratulations to the Bryant team.
Congratulations to Principal Humphrey and to the Bryant staff and community. It's a community effort, and that team is among the best anywhere.
Okay, so we're going to go on to the big question. And unfortunately, this week we had some across the state of Michigan and right here at Ann Arbor, Huron, a bunch of hoax calls made to schools or to law enforcement about threats at schools. And I guess the question is what are the consequences for those type of threats? Because I think community members really need to know.
I really appreciate that, Andrew. You know, I appreciated Attorney General Nessel putting out a statement today, and she's very clear that the consequences for any kind of threat or hoax or SWAT or whatever name that you put on it, the consequences are very significant, up to 20 years even. So as we've had to do before, unfortunately, we just want to work together as a community. And so we're asking our parents and community members to just have that conversation with students so that everybody's aware. It's not a gag or a joke. It is really quite serious, and it is a crime. So we appreciate everybody just paying attention to that, and I appreciate the partnership of Ann Arbor Police Department and the Sheriff's Department, our law enforcement across the state. I know that they are working right now to solve those things that happened today across the state of Michigan, and hopefully they will bring some individuals to account because the disruption of our school day, teaching and learning and the activities that our students get to do in school, that's a very serious matter.
And just one other reminder is that when a student does see something, that we ask them to immediately report it, but report it, tell a parent, tell a teacher, tell a trusted adult. Don't go out and post it, because that can then get you in trouble as well, even if you didn't make the threat. If you share the threat and that leads to further concern and whatnot, that's going to cause you some consequences as well.
Right. Our law enforcement partners say even give them a call. If it feels urgent, give them a call, because they want to help us. They want to support us. That's a productive step, whereas the reposting really doesn't get those results. It's counterproductive.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Miss Nancy Shore, for joining us today.
Thank you. I learned a lot at this podcast.
That's
good
great.
stuff.
And a shout out to the class of 2023 and all the best wishes in their scholarship applications.
There you go. The finish line's coming up.
And thank you very much, Dr. Swift, for joining us again.
Thank you, Andrew.
And thank you for listening to the A2Schools podcast. As always, if you have any questions about the Ann Arbor Public Schools, the very first place to go is A2Schools.org, our website. If you have a topic that you'd like to hear about discussed on a future edition of the A2Schools podcast, please send me an email at communications@A2Schools.org. And once again, thank you for listening to this week's edition of the A2Schools podcast.